I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. So I'm gonna give you guys a chance, hopefully, to find me again. But I was live and the camera just died, so that's an issue I did not think about, and I probably should have kept a watch on that. But let's see what's going on here. All right, we're back. All right, so I'm gonna give a chance for anybody that wanted to come back to the stream to get back in. Camera died. Did you hear me going, oh, afterwards? Because I was like, I was like looking at it, and it's like, whoo, power down. So the camera was my problem. The battery is your enemy. And I think we were talking about, it's funny because I think we were talking about electric cars and how I don't think we should ever go fully electric car. And that's part of the reason right there. Because when it dies, you're just dead in the water. So anyway, let's give it some time to catch up here. Yeah, if I'd have just had gasoline in the camera, we'd be doing good right now, right? Let's see here. Shooby-dooby-dooby-doo-doo-doo-doo. All right, yeah, so, but anyway, that's what I was talking about. I guess I'll just get right back onto it. So the gasoline cars are good, man, because you can carry a can of gasoline, a 5-gallon can of gasoline, and you can go a long distance. You can go a long distance with that. I'm just gonna let everybody just file in here. Just send in a text real quick. You want to see Raleigh? Here, let's look at some trees. Let's look at some trees for a minute. Some trees. What's up, Melissa? Sorry about that. My camera died. The old GoPro. So I was just talking about batteries, right, and the weakness of batteries, and that's just like kind of made my point, I think, while I was talking about gasoline. So yeah, I was just saying just a minute ago, like maybe I should just put, if I had gasoline going to the camera, I would know, because I would know to look at that empty, the tanks going empty, rather than the bars on the camera. That's what we need. We need a generator in the car with gasoline for the camera. I think next time I'll just plug it up. I'm learning. Catch you up on chores today. That's cool. What kind of chores you got? Hi, NY gal. Welcome back in. But yeah, so I don't think we should go all electric, you know. I think there's like, so around town, around the cities and stuff like that, I think electric's great. You could have lots of charging stations. Your range is not that far. You can you go from place to place, whatever, no big deal. People are not putting a lot of miles on those cars in the city, and so the batteries will probably last a long time, and that's good, you know. And if there's bad weather, like if it's extremely cold, you could probably just stay home or something. I don't know. Maybe you can walk to get to where you need to go. But like where I live, if we got hit by extremely cold spell, which is probably not going to happen right now, it could happen, I mean, but if you're in the country, if you're out in the middle of nowhere and you're in an area that gets real cold, not that it does here, but if you're up north or something, say, you want to have a backup, you want to have something. So hopefully gasoline cars will always be around in some form or fashion, or either diesel cars, because they really are good. But I think they can get more efficient. You know, it doesn't have to be, they don't have to be gas guzzlers. Somebody's, oh, you guys are coming back in. Thank you for being here. Laundry, cleaning the kitchen, living area, bills, making appointments, fun stuff, the exciting things in life. Yeah. You know, like, life's crazy. There's like so many different parts of life. So there's like these crazy exciting moments that you have, and sometimes things can get really wild and dramatic, and then there's like the laundry. Yeah, such is life. Everybody's got to do the laundry. But yeah, thanks for being in the live stream, guys. I appreciate y'all being here. I'll probably get better at this, so hopefully the camera won't die, you know, without me noticing it first, and then like closing out the live stream proper, and things like that. And yeah, and I'll get better at like probably talking to the camera, chat, all that stuff. But yeah, it's fun. This is fun. The cat's out of the bag. I know the GoPro works now, so I'm gonna be doing it. I'm getting a phone call now, so we'll just text that person. And the weather's super nice today, guys. Super, super nice. Dude is still okay. So all right, so this is interesting, guys. So there's a guy in my area here in Raleigh. Well, we don't know if it's a guy, but we're on the highways. They're on the highways. There's a 440, if you're familiar with that in Gal. There's somebody is shooting cars, or shooting at cars. They've hit a couple of them the last few days. This is crazy. This probably should be the title of my live stream. Maybe I should go change it. Yeah, and they're shooting at cars, and they can't find this guy. They can't, or gal. It could be anybody, right? It could be anybody. It could be anything. It could be Bigfoot. I don't know. We don't know. But they're shooting at the cars, according to reports in this area. Maybe I should get one of those reports up. Let's see if I can get one of those reports up real quick. Let's go scour the news real quick, shall we? All right. Raleigh shooting highway. Yeah, because this is actually kind of crazy. Because I was out here yesterday, not too far from that, and I got another friend that works in this area driving as well. They do Amazon, and their route was like in that area, like right in this area where this is happening, and it's just crazy. It's like bizarre because nobody knows why, nobody knows what's going on. All right, so I-40 shootings. Okay, I-40. I'm sorry, not 440. I-40. Shootings damaged 6 vehicles, injured 1 person on Interstate 40 in Raleigh over the last few days. 6 vehicles have been shot on Interstate 40 over the past few days, according to the Raleigh Police Department. Police said Wednesday officers responded to calls about a vehicle that had been shot along I-40 near Chapel Hill Road exit before 5 a.m. So 5 a.m. in the morning. And during the investigation, authorities said other vehicles were also reported being hit by gunfire shortly after the first incident. And then it says, we are incredibly fortunate and thankful nobody was injured. So that's good. So far, so good on that. However, we recognize that these events are concerning and frightening to those that travel on that stretch of highway, and we are taking these events very seriously, said RPD. That's the Raleigh Police Department. So, yeah, it's weird, but I guess it happened today, too. So, the investigation comes 2 days after the police said a woman was shot in the leg while traveling on I-40 in the same area. She was taken to the hospital for treatment of non-life life-threatening injuries. So, but yeah, so isn't that, okay, I'll get back to the chat. Whoa. So isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy, guys? Somebody's shooting at people on the highway. Like, what the heck is going on in Raleigh, dude? I'm telling you, NY gal, Raleigh's getting nuts, man. You might not want to come back over here. It's still nice, dude. Come back and visit one time. Let me know if you're in the area. But yeah, I mean, this has been going on the last few days, or a couple days rather, and we've been watching it because, like I said, my friend travels that area every day, and then I'm out here driving pretty much every day. And then, like, we have like loved ones sending us these news articles and stuff, like there's somebody shooting out there and all this stuff. It's crazy. So let's see, check the chat. All right. It's scary. Yeah, Melissa, it's scary. No, I mean, I'm not actually scared. I mean, so there's so many thousands of cars that go through there. The chances of actually like getting shot are crazy, but the thing is, they don't know who it is or what's going on. It's not like, so we have shootings in the areas out here all the time, especially here in Durham, like here in Raleigh and in Durham, but they're usually somebody shooting somebody they know, right, like what they're doing. But not this. This is different because nobody knows who it is, and yeah, people are just getting hit. Like, the cars are just getting hit. And the one woman did get hit. They said it went into 2 legs, so it must have come through the door. Speculation. I'm not saying that, but yeah, the world is messed up. Yeah, it's crazy, and you know, you can't even shoot back, right? Because you don't even know who they are. Yeah, it's nuts, man. It's nuts. So, I mean, I'm not like personally in a hurry to get over to that side of town. I work on a different side of town a lot of times because I work on the more quiet side of town. I'm more familiar with it, and also, yeah, it's better over here. It's better over here. Traffic on 40 and all that gets so backed up anyway. I try to avoid that stuff, man. That's one reason I like when I jump into the DoorDash and stuff. I do it selectively. You know, I'm not trying to get stuck in the wrong side of town over here. Raleigh's not bad. I mean, I'm not like trying to paint a bad picture of it. This is just happening today, so it's like, wow. Last couple of days. Let's see. Welcome back, Kristen. You found me. Rooted in essential oils. What's going on? Thanks for stopping in. Did I miss anything? No, I didn't. All right, cool. Yeah. So that's wild. We'll keep updated on that. I'll go back. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna look. I'm gonna leave the chat here for a second. I'm gonna go look and see, because my friend just sent me a text. Let's look at the text my friend sent me. Apparently, okay. Apparently, dude is still. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, they're just talking about the news articles. That's nuts, guys. So the last thing we needed is some random dude, because it's like a terroristic type event, right? Like, it could just be somebody that needs to has mental instability or like problems. Obviously somebody with some kind of problems. I don't know, like whatever. But yeah, like, where's the people that take care of that person? Or is it just are they just trying to create terrorism, you know? Or they could be trying to take the guns. They could be doing something like that. I don't know. I'm not saying this is any of these things is the thing that's happening. I'm just speculating. None of us know. Nobody knows. I live in a small town and we don't have stuff like that happen very often or at all, so shooting sounds scary. Well, I live in a small town too, Melissa. I mean, I work out here in Raleigh, but I live in a more small rural area, and we don't have that stuff either. Occasionally we do have a shooting, but it's always like somebody's girl. You know what I mean? Somebody's like, that's my girl or whatever, like, you know what I mean? And then like they shoot somebody, goes to the hospital, and it's, you know, but everybody knows who it is, kind of thing. So it's not that crazy. Like, we don't have. So yeah, small towns are great. Small towns definitely way better than the city when it comes to violence, right? But even Raleigh, I mean, it's kind of safe. I would say it's kind of a safe city. It's probably not as safe as it was back when I lived here, though, because, like I said, the population's dramatically increased, and it's people from all over, and also with it getting, I guess, more expensive, then the desperation level goes up. for people that did live here. Because, you know, obviously you can't afford what you could afford. And you're not making any more money than you did. And people are moving down from like New York and all these other places, and they make like twice as much up there. So they're coming down here with like a war chest that people don't have here. You know what I mean? And that's happening in a lot of the areas around here. Even where I live, even out in the country, people, like during COVID, people came and bought houses from up north all over the place. And they were buying houses at like insane prices. It was crazy. The housing market was wild up down here for a while. Plus, Research Triangle Park is nearby. We got a lot of stuff in this area. It's a busy area. I mean, it's a lot going on. There's a lot of reasons to move here. I mean, you hear shooting, not here in the city where I'm at right now in this moment, but where I live, like my neighbor shoots. Like I shoot like at my dad's house, like in that area, right? Like, because we got a place where we can shoot. I don't really shoot in my backyard that much. I use air guns and stuff like that to just play around and practice and stuff. But people are shooting all the time, you know, and it's just normal. It's normal in the country. But it's never a shooting. It's never like people shooting. It's rarely people shooting each other. And if it is, it's like I said, it's people that know each other. They got a reason. Hey, the Stock Explorer, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Shooting. We hear gunshots. It's usually someone shooting. Yeah, exactly, Melissa. If somebody's shooting on their property, it's a normal thing where I live. But in Raleigh, if you hear gunshots, it's not good. One night, I was driving and I was door dashing because for a while I was doing it overnight. I was like door dashing overnight, which I liked it because the city was dead. The city was just completely dead, and so you could just drive the streets, no problem, and no traffic. And traffic's a problem in Raleigh. So I was driving past the gas station and these guys were having it out with one another, and it came to the point. And then one guy like got in his car and he came driving out, running away from the other guys or whatever, and he came driving towards me, and then they're like popping shots off at him, and I'm like, that was probably the sketchiest time that I've had in Raleigh, right? That's not normal though. It's not the norm. But yeah, that's the only time I've actually gotten, I was around, out here that I was around, I mean, I've had a couple sketchy encounters, but it wasn't like that. That was like, I was like hoping the guy would turn the other way because they were shooting at him. He was coming towards me, and so I'm like, well, damn, you're bringing the fire over here to me, man. Like, so I like hunkered down, like ran the red light. I got out of there. That's what you do. You get out of there. You try not to, you know, because you don't want to get hit, right? There's no time to shoot back in a situation like that. Like, dude, they're already, you know, shooting at the guy, and he's driving towards you. You know, everybody's just trying to get away from the bullets, right? Hard to shoot with a bow. Hard to shoot with a bow? I don't know. I like shooting with bows and arrows. I do that in my backyard a lot. So I got a bow target and stuff. I got compound and I have a recurve. That's a fun sport. And ammo's not cheap, but you can use it over and over and over again. So that's what I like about bows and arrows. And it's quiet. It doesn't bother the neighbors. Welcome back, De Leon Supercars. Thank you for being here. Where I'm at right now, De Leon? North Carolina. Oh, you might be talking about NY Gal, Florida Heart. It's bow season there? Yeah. Yeah, it's always bow season before gun season. And then I don't know about the crossbows. I'm not sure. Somebody's parking behind me, so I gotta keep an eye out. We're talking about all this people jumping people and chasing people out the parking lot, shooting at them and shooting in my direction, and now somebody's like pulling up behind me, and I'm like, yeah, Raleigh's a safe city. Come on to Raleigh. Yeah, it's not that bad though. It really isn't. That was late at night. When that happened, it was late at night, and you know, it's my bad for being out like late at night, I guess. Yeah, I don't like it when people pull up behind me. I'm on the side of the street, you know, I'm parked and minding my own business, but we'll be all right. You guys watch my back. Oh, she's getting out. She looks harmless. We'll see. Oh, my eyes are always open. You notice I'm always looking around? Yeah. It's because, like, look, it's a safe city, so to speak, but you're never really fully safe. Like, you gotta be vigilant. Always gotta be vigilant, guys. Head on the old swivel, for sure. Especially when you're in the city. She walked to the other side of the road. Yeah. See, you guys got my back. That's what's up. I like this. I'm gonna have to live stream everywhere now, guys. That way, so you guys can have my back. y'all not gonna stick with me that long. You got stuff to do. Yep. Daily owned supercars. We were talking about gasoline cars versus electric when you left. Oh shoot. Okay, so see, the battery's going low. Let me see if I can do this, guys. Hold on a second. I'm gonna move the camera a little bit. See if I can charge this thing. Will it charge while I'm live? Huh. Try this. Alright. Not sure if it'll charge. Let's try this out again. Live. It's not working. Let's see. Well, the battery's getting low, so coast is clear. I got you. Thank you, NY gal. I appreciate that. I appreciate you having my back. Yeah. So the battery's kind of getting low. Let me look and see what the percentage is. 21. We're good. I mean, I got a few more minutes, but we'll have to get off here soon at some point, and then I'll go work. Which is kind of dumb because traffic's starting, but I did want to see if yes, daily owned supercars. We were talking about. So let me do this first. Electric cars, you can't in a shit hit the fan situation, right? Okay, let's just go there. If the power's out, you can't charge your electric car, and people say, well, you can use solar panels. Well, yes, but that takes forever. And you need a lot of solar panels for an electric car. But with gasoline or diesel, you can take a 5-gallon container, and you can move that. You can take that, put it in one car, drive it 10 miles down the road to the other car, put it in and fill up the other car. And with 5 gallons, I mean, 20 miles to the gallon, you can go 100 miles, right? So that, and you can hold that. That's compact. It's mobile. That's what I like about gasoline. And we have the infrastructure for it. It's not like overnight the gasoline's going to disappear. There's a lot of money in it. There's a lot of people doing it and getting the gas out of the ground. And so, yeah. I do like mixing it up. I like having all the different stuff. Right, electric cars, diesel cars, gas cars, bring them on. I like them all. Hydrogen cars, that's something we're gonna look into soon. Hydrogen, because they're doing a lot of things with hydrogen fuel cells now that are possible. Like, it might not be that you go and you fill up your car with hydrogen because you have a tank that's built in. It might be that they have a fuel cell that you swap out at the gas station, but then you're still you're relying on those fuel cells. So the government could say you can only have but so many fuel cells, right, or whatever. So this is when we talk about limiting the travel and stuff like that. That is a concern, right? They say, oh, well, you can't store the fuel cells for hydrogen because they're dangerous, right? They may even say that with batteries. If they did the swapping out of the batteries, they might say, well, you can't have but so many batteries because we've been having fires in people's houses and it's dangerous. So that's the kind of thing, like, I'm like, well, fuel as we know it, gasoline and diesel, it is well known, and it's pretty, we've worked out all the issues with that. Diesel is not that flammable anyway, so it's very safe to store. It's flammable, but it's not like volatile. Gasoline, more volatile, but we know how to store it as a society. So we're already there. But if shit hits the fan, yeah, your electric stuff's not gonna work. It's kind of interesting, like they were sending, they sent pallets to Western North Carolina, which is a whole nother thing. I mean, we don't have enough battery life for that conversation. But the government sent pallets of electric chainsaws, right? I don't know if they sent them for like FEMA or for just the people on the ground there, but electric chainsaws. I have an electric chainsaw. It's small. It's for when I want to just do light stuff, right? But you gotta have power to charge it. It's gotta be on the grid. You can carry fuel for chainsaws, for gas chainsaws, in the field with you, you know, on the back of a truck, back of a four-wheeler, wherever you gotta get in a situation like that. And it certainly is a shit hit the fan situation in Western North Carolina, right? And it was, and it still is. But it's kind of funny because the government had these mandates, like, we're gonna have all electric cars by 2030, or I can't remember when it was. They've done several different dates, and then they walked it back, and then they walked it back. Nobody's buying the cars. But they, yeah. Yeah. 3 or 4 minutes, you're all gassed up. Yeah, charging takes too long, exactly. So I'm not against the electric cars. They have a place. They're cool. When I was a kid, I wanted them to be a thing, right? Like, because they weren't a thing, really. There was a few, but they were experimental, or it was like, you know what I mean? So that's my take on that. I think gasoline, I think diesel is like really promising. So in other countries, there's a company called Skoda, and I think it might be an offshoot of Volkswagen, but they have diesel cars that get like 60 miles to the gallon, and they're not even hybrid. We don't have those here. It's kind of interesting. Our government doesn't, like, I don't know why we don't have them here. Okay, I don't know. It might be some kind of law, whatever. But we should build something like that here. Like, why don't we build a car that gets like 60 miles to the gallon if we know we can do it, right? Another thing is, like, living in cities is not good for gas mileage, right? You get the worst gas mileage when going to city driving. So if you're gonna do that, you might as well charge up on the grid and do the electric cars and stuff like that. That's fine. And if you're like near us, a lot of the power is nuclear power. So if you're already tapping that nuclear power, you might as well, right? You might as well use it for cars. But it's just not good for people out in the country, for SHTF type stuff, and which can happen at any time, you know? I mean, look, people in Western North Carolina didn't know that stuff was gonna happen, man. It just, like, dams kind of broke. There was a lot of different things that happened. It had been raining for days and days and days. They don't get hurricanes there. They don't get hurricanes there. People are like, why didn't they get out? A, they don't get hurricanes there. Like, it just doesn't happen. B, a lot of the alerts didn't go off on the phones. There's people talking about getting alerts like days later. You know what I mean? So I don't want to get too much into that because that's a whole different subject. But it's Exhibit A, really, if you think about it. I don't think there was any electric cars driving around in Western North Carolina because there's places where the grid's going to be down for another like 6, 8, 9 months. You know. What are you gonna do with an electric car? But if you have gas, you can run a generator. You can go travel and get that gas and transport it. And you can run generators which can run an entire house. You can get water out of the ground. You can travel. You know, you can have amenities or whatever, right? And so that's what that's what I think is probably a better option. I always thought we'd have flying cars by now. Yeah, I know. And hoverboards, right? We should. Was it like Trump said something about flying cars the other day? He literally did. He said something. He was like, we should make the flying car or something. Hey, dude, whatever. Let's do it. I'm all for it. I think that'd be cool. It'd be a learning curve. It'd be a learning curve. I don't think everybody would just be getting in there and just flying around. And then they'd have regulations and just like drones. You can anybody can buy a drone, but not anybody can fly a drone. There's like rules on it, and there's rules on where you can fly and where you can't. But with drones being as prevalent as they are, I mean, to me it seems like a flying car would just be like a big drone, right? Couldn't you do that? I think some companies have done that. It's just maybe it's expensive, and maybe there's nowhere you can go play with it legally, or you know, because now you're getting into territory like how high are we flying? Is it like Luke Skywalker land speeder? you know, a couple off the ground, a couple feet off the ground, or is it like we're flying above the trees, you know? Because then now we're in helicopter territory. I think helicopters could do 500 feet or up. So it's like, is it gonna be 500 feet or below? That's where we're allowed to do it? I mean, maybe. I don't know. What do you guys think? We're gonna make the flying car? Everybody's trying. Wow. Oh, good job. He had a big Tahoe, and he did a U-turn, and he actually did it without hitting me and without hitting the curb. So kudos to that guy. I always say, if you can't park it, don't buy it. I see people with cars a lot of times, they can't park them out here. The big Tahoes like that, and the Tesla Cybertruck. There's a lot of Tesla Cybertrucks in this area. A lot. We have a Tesla dealer here out on 70, and let's see. I was hoping I could get this thing to charge, but let's see. Let's check the battery. I gotta check the battery. Okay, so I think it's charging. It's just not telling me it's charging. It doesn't look like a phone, so I think we're good. I think I just extended the life of this live stream just a little bit. Let's check the chat. Yeah, hoverboard be like the Back to the Future. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Back to the Future. There's a lot of interesting consistencies in those movies back then. Old movies were better. Were old movies better, guys? Let me know if old movies were better, or are movies better now. The technology to make movies look good is there now, as far as like resolution goes. But I think as far as if it's me, if we're asking me, I think content-wise, old movies hands down were like way better. Especially the action movies. The action movies in the 80s and 90s were where it's at. See, science fiction was very interesting, although a lot of the science fiction seems to have actually come true, so that's interesting. Check the chat. But anyway, appreciate you guys being here. Cool hanging out with you on a, what's today? Thursday? Is it a Thursday? They rely too much on special effects rather than quality content and acting. Yes, Melissa, I agree. I think the acting sucks now. It's gonna be real. I think acting. So there's this weird thing where, like, when you're the first person to do something, right? You do it, and you do it kind of great, and it's maybe rough around the edges, but it's awesome. And then other people come along and they do it. And then other people copy that, and then other people and then you got 100 people that are doing the same thing you were doing to the same capacity, kind of, but they weren't the first. So that leap in skill, or leap in you know what I mean, from not knowing it was possible to finding out it was possible, to being that person to like pave the way, but then to now you're just like one of thousands of people that's just copying it, is different. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the first car versus like the 10th car that was made. The first one and the second one were pretty revolutionary. The 10th, 15th, 20th, I mean, they're just pretty much copying stuff at that point, right? It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know, that was like a big deal back in the day, Arnold. And he was like, he had the big muscles and everything. And then now you walk around and you see dudes look like Arnold all the time. They're all pumped up on all kinds of stuff, right? But it's kind of common. And there's a lot of people in that industry. Everybody kind of copied whoever it was, and they got into the industry. And but the actual authenticity is not there. That's what I think. What's your guys' favorite movies? Let me know your favorite movie in the chat. I'll see if I've seen it. I've seen a lot of older movies, but I haven't seen a lot of the newer ones. So if it's a newer one, I probably haven't seen it. Honestly, I kind of checked out of movies a while back. And I buy and sell VHSs too. That's another thing. So when I come across like VHSs, if it's a movie I wanted to watch from back in the day, or I want to watch from back in the day, and it's on VHS, I pick it up, because where I get VHSs, I get them between 10 and 25 cents. And so that's like really cheap for a movie, right? So even if I'm not going to sell it, I have a VCR, and I have it set up, and I'll watch it. I'll watch it on VHS. The picture's not as good, but it's fine. There's no storylines nowadays. Yeah. There's no storylines. Yeah, you're right. Well, it's all social engineering, and I don't think that they want us to be strong or heroic or you know, the character arc, like, you know, the classic character arc in a book. If you're gonna write a book, you know, character might start off kind of flawed, like, you know, it's kind of screw up, and then you get to the point where, you know, so he goes through some things and then ends up becoming, you know, like a man, you know what I mean? Like really learning how to be what it is to be a man, like how to stand up for what he believes in, or for his family, or whatever it is, right? And people grow through the character arc. And you don't really see the character arc anymore. It's just kind of, they just throw people out there. And yeah, and there's a lot I could say about that, right? There's a lot I could say. I mean, but yeah, the storylines aren't there, because that is a storyline, right? I mean, that's all of our stories. We grow up and we go through things, and we have to mature. Like we have to look at life different now than we did, right? And not to say that you don't lose those kind of dreams that you have, but you learn how to be a better person, right? You get knocked down, and you learn from that, and it grows you stronger as a character, as a person. Your character arc becomes complete, like as you go through life, to the point where hopefully if you survive and you make it to be like a grandpa or something, you know, you got a lot of wisdom. And then the kids are like, wow, grandpa's, you know, how'd he get that way? And people are like, he used to not be that way, you know, he used to be, you know, whatever, but, right? And, but he's definitely changed. And I don't think we see that in the movies. It's just about, I don't know, it's about engineering. They want you to, I really believe they're using movies to like make people be a certain way. I mean, they used to do that too, back in the day. Chat. I'll check that out in a minute. Melissa, back in the day, there were a lot of war movies, right? There was a lot of military movies, like Rambo, for example. It's kind of an anti-war movie, actually. But if you talk to a lot of military people, they got into the military because of Rambo. So it's interesting. Or if you go back further, like John Wayne movies, they were designed for you to be like the good guy, right? The hero, the good guy, blah, blah, blah. And then he got into military stuff too, because that was what the country wanted him to do, to encourage people to be in the military. So they have always like kind of used it to manipulate people a little bit, but I think the message is like way less quality now, if that makes sense. What do you think of that, De Leon Supercar? As a kid, my favorite movie was Dirty Dancing. I think that's a lot of women's favorite movie as a kid. Now as an adult, I wonder how the heck my mom thought that was appropriate film for me at 3 years old. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I hear you, Melissa. Yeah, that's why our generation is what it is now. I'm just playing. I don't actually know exactly how old you are, but I'm in my 30s, so that kind of jives with my era, I would say. A lot of the girls probably watched Dirty Dancing growing up, right? That's that happened that was in my state, Lake Lure. Yeah, but yeah, the movies aren't what they were. They really aren't. Even so, if you look at like Star Wars, right? This is a hot button issue for me, probably. But Star Wars, I believe Star Wars, and you can disagree. This is what I love about life, whatever, is that you can disagree, and I want you to. If you do disagree, let me know. I want to know, and I'll still love you. I'm not that kind of guy. I don't want an echo chamber. I don't need an echo chamber. I mean, it is what it is. If we agree, that's great. Star Wars. Do you guys think that Star Wars went downhill when Disney got it, or got better? Let me know in the comments what you think about Star Wars. Because I grew up watching Star Wars, and I really liked it, and it inspired a lot of things. Those movies, like if you look back at, and then we're talking about A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. But those movies, you know, the graphics and the effects weren't that good compared to today. They weren't good at all compared to today. It was terrible. It was terrible compared to today. But the concept, this is one of those things about being the first person to do it, right? The concept of Star Wars was incredible, dude. Everything kind of corresponded to life. in some way, but it was also otherworldly at the same time. So you had the deserts, which we have here. You had the moon of Endor, or was it Endor, where the Ewoks are, which is basically the redwoods. When I went to the redwoods, I was like, this is Endor. You know, this is like the forest of Endor or whatever. So all that stuff was inspired by real life. And then there was different characters, all kinds of different people, but they were like what we would call, I guess, aliens or whatever in the movies. But they were just different. There was different characters, and they embodied different things. And that was masterful. I think it was masterful. Got a guy walking up on me, guys. Watch my back. I think it was really cool what George Lucas did, and I think it was original. And I think, like I said, you had heroes. And even today, they want the strong woman lead. Well, you had a strong woman lead in Star Wars. You had all that stuff. Yeah, all of that stuff. The leader of the Resistance was Mon Mothma, who was a female, right? She was the leader of the whole thing. So you have that in Star Wars in the 70s, and now they want to say, well, it wasn't diverse enough, and it wasn't whatever, so we got to do all this different stuff. I just think that's crazy, man. I think you can disagree, and it's fine. Let's see what the chat's doing. I saw some of the Star Wars movies when I was super young because I for sure remember the teddy bears, the Ewoks. That's what I'm talking about, the Ewoks. But I don't really know the films. I live in the Redwoods. I live in the Redwoods, actually, where they filmed Star Wars. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The moon of Endor, it was Endor, it is the Redwoods. It is the Redwoods. And when I went, and that's cool that you live in the Redwoods, by the way. That is freaking awesome, because my wife and I went there before she was my wife. I took her out there, and we explored the Redwoods, and then we went down to Joshua Tree in California. We did the whole West Coast thing, all of that. And but the Redwoods was my favorite. We drove a car through the Redwoods, but really hiking in there and then just looking at the trees, it's like, dude, everybody should do it. Should be on everybody's bucket list. Go to the Redwoods. Hi, Kendra, how you doing? Welcome into the chat. I'm testing the GoPro. I don't go live a lot. I know you know that, but I am today. So, it was filmed in Star. Yeah, so they filmed it there. Yeah, and all of those places in Star Wars had a corresponding place on Earth, right? It was everything in Star Wars was based on stuff that exists here. It was just kind of changed to be Star Wars and make it bigger, make the universe a bigger place. And I thought that was really cool originally when George Lucas did it. And I guess I'll get to what I think about it. I think when Disney got it, I think they did not do justice, but that might be because all right, so that's for a lot of reasons. But one of the reasons is, so I read the books. I read what they call expanded universe. I think that's what they call it now. But there's books on what the next 3 movies should have been after that. And I think they were great. They could have been altered a little bit, but I don't think Disney obviously Disney did not go in that direction. Of course, they didn't have the original actors, so it would have been hard to do. George Lucas would have had to have done it in the 90s. But I don't think Star Wars, I think the message of Star Wars got kind of warped by Disney. Now, I'm not against everything they've done. I think some of it's kind of cool, but yeah, I'm kind of bummed out. I mean, the stories already existed, and it would have been nice to see those stories play out, but I guess they're just in our imagination now as people who read the books back in the 90s. But, you know, that's just me. You don't have to feel that way. I know a lot of people are just coming up on Star Wars now, and they don't know, and that's fine. That's fine. But that stuff used to be canon, and it's not anymore. I don't want to go too far on Star Wars. I'll get upset. It's not that big of a deal. I'm in my 30s, so I don't really care that much. It's just a movie, but, or movies or series, and now movies, TV shows, books, whatever, but, how's your day going, Kendra? Hope you're doing well. I'm just jumping in, but I already agree with you. Oh yeah, cool. About Star Wars, or the movies in general. Yeah, for the most part, they ruined it. Too much focus on inclusivity. Yeah, I know. And I know that might be a hot button issue for some people, but dude, listen, I think they were about as inclusive as they could be back in the day. Like you had strong women in the Resistance. There was the Queen. There was well, her planet got destroyed, but obviously Princess Leia, Mon Mothma, she was a female. You had obviously like these alien creatures, like, dude, I don't know how much more inclusive you can get. You had people of all colors in the movies, you know what I mean? Like, it was about as inclusive, probably the most inclusive movie ever made up until that point was Star Wars, originally, right? But it wasn't pushed. It wasn't that that like push, like it's, you've got to believe this, and if not, you're a terrible person thing. But anyway, whatever. I don't want to get into that too much, but yes, I agree with you, Kendra, on that. It seems like everything is a hot button issue. Yeah, I know. Well, shouldn't we? Okay. So to some degree, I think we should all be able to talk about it. And I think if we can't get in a position where we can talk about it, we have an issue. I said this on my video about information filter bubbles, because whether we like it or not, we're all in some form of information filter bubble, right? Like, to some degree, with our information that we get. And there's something out there that's outside it that people are seeing that we're not seeing, and we're not aware of it. Unless we see it, right? And I've always actively been trying to look at both sides. Like, for the politics stuff, I always look at both sides. I have my feelings, obviously, but or my beliefs and whatever. I don't like really believe in people. Like, I don't believe in trusting people to that degree with my life. But if you're gonna have somebody in an office, I believe there's certain people that should be there, right? But at the same time, I watch the other side. Like, I watch all the sides. And then that's my decisions based on that, or whatever, right? And I think everybody should do that. Should exercise that, not just with politics, but with everything, right? You should look at all the sides. You know, look at as much information as you can, and then you can make better decisions. But if you're in an echo chamber, then you're gonna be very surprised. I think we've seen that in the last couple days, right? If you're in an echo chamber, you're gonna be surprised that the rest of the world doesn't think like you do. And I'm not saying that to disparage anybody or anything like that, because like I said, I want people to disagree if they disagree, and be open about it. People should be able to be open about it without being attacked, and then we can talk about it, and that's fine. And then we can walk away, hopefully walk away still being friends. That's when I was growing up, we could do that, and things got to a point where I think, and this is like, maybe this is politicians doing it, maybe it's behind the scenes people doing it, I don't know, but there's been a lot of divisiveness or whatever, and then they say this issue is more important, when really it's not even that important, but it's the thing that divides people, and they just drive that wedge, and they've been driving that wedge in our country, and I think it's an attack, you know, on our country, really. Just to be real. And check the chat. Yeah. I do the same and encourage others to do it. Not only with politics, I kind of look at it like with movies, as if someone says a movie sucks, I'm going to watch it myself. Yeah, if I have the time, I'll watch it. I mean, if I want to watch it, you know, I'll watch it anyway, even if somebody says it sucks, because they might not agree. There's a lot of movies from back in the 80s and stuff that probably y'all don't even know about, or I mean, maybe some of you do. I can't name any off the top of my head, but the point is that in the 80s or whatever, there was movies that sucked. They were terrible. They were so bad they were good, right? You ever heard that? And yeah, I like some of those movies, but you know, if I was to show somebody that now, one of the kids now, they'd be like, dude, this movie sucks, man. Why do you like it? I just like it, you know. And so, you know, you might be missing out on something if you don't check it out. We should do the same with politics. Watch full interviews. I've watched, I guess we'll go there for a minute. I watched the Harris interview. Well, she didn't really do a lot of interviews, did she? But I did watch all the interviews she did, and she did all the speeches or whatever. I watched that stuff, you know. And how you doing? Hey. All right. And I watched Trump stuff. I couldn't watch all his rallies because they're so long. You can't do that. You don't have time. But the interviews, like Joe Rogan, the 3-hour interview, I watched the whole thing, right? Because I'm that kind of guy. And if Harris had done an interview on Joe Rogan, I would have watched the whole thing. You know? I don't agree with her politics, but I want to see if there's something there. I still want to see it. Like, every person has there's something there, and I want to see what's there, right? And the only way to do that is to watch, to listen, you know? And so that's where I'm at on that. Never seen Star Wars, not my thing. My husband loved it, or love it. Yeah, I mean, I do. Does he think Disney ruined it, Kristen? I mean, did he grow up with the original Star Wars, all the just George Lucas stuff? And does he think Disney? I'd be interested to know if Mike thought Disney ruined Star Wars. I love Mannequin, terrible movie, but most people, for most people, it's too. I never saw that one, Melissa. Never saw that one. Kendra, you gotta go watch that. She says it sucks. Oh, you loved that movie too. Okay. Y'all all like it. Well, you're in good company, Melissa, because everybody likes the movie, but I haven't seen it. Wait, so what is it about? Let me know what it's about. Maybe I've seen it and I don't know. Obviously it didn't leave an impression on me because I don't know it. You know what I mean? I love so many movies, it's hard to pick one. I know. I'm the same way. They're all old movies. I like all the action movies and stuff in the back. Even the cheesy, I like the cheesy ones from back in the day. Like, I like movies with like Stallone and Dolph Lundgren and all those guys. I like those old movies. There's a movie called Vanishing Point, and it's about this dude who transports a car across the country, and he's like high on speed, and the car's it's a Challenger, so it's like a Dodge Challenger or whatever with a 440 engine in it and everything. Anyway, and the pistol grip shifter. It's a car chase movie, and it's like delirious. It's like a delirious car chase movie. It's crazy and it's wild, and I like that movie. But it's not for everybody, and you guys might not like that one, but I do. Vanishing Point. But it's not my favorite. I don't know. I couldn't say a favorite either. I just say tell me your favorite, just get the conversation started on the movies. But you can't stand Joe. You mean like Joey B? Is that who you mean, NY Gal? Loved Grease 1 and 2. I could recite the whole movie at 10. I had no clue what I was saying. Yeah, that's funny, Kristen. A man obsessed with a mannequin he creates. The mannequin turns into a woman who was a reincarnated Egyptian princess. And you're watching Roadhouse right now. Y'all are into the same kind of movies. Y'all are into the same kind of movies. I'm not into the movies that you guys are into. Y'all are into the girl movies, and that's okay. I respect that. I understand that. I can't expect you guys to like you know, the movies I like. I've got chills, they're multiplying. That must be part of the movie. Tim, when I became obsessed with Grease. I don't like the first one though, or Grease 2. And then watching Grease as an adult, I'm like, why was I allowed to watch this as a kid? That seems to be a common theme, Kendra. Talk to Melissa about that. She went through the same thing. These are good date night suggestions for you and your wife. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. See? Secret weapon. Live stream. Yeah. It's called. Yeah, he falls in love with a woman. A woman computer voice. That's kind of creepy. That's kind of like today. Dude, that was foreshadowing. Like, dude, they do that today. You know, I didn't know this, but my teenage son, he was telling me like that something about, anyway, he was talking about how they have these AI girlfriends now. I was like, what the hell? AI girlfriends. Joe Rogan. You can't stand Joe Rogan? Oh, come on. I mean, I think Joe Rogan is just like that guy in the middle of the road. And I don't mind watching his podcast because it gets people talking. And you see his guests and stuff like that. So I don't like hate him or love him. I think he's a thing. I think he's a thing, right? Like if you look back in history, Joe Rogan will be a thing. The Rogan Show. Just like there were shows back in the day, and then the news commentators back in the day, like Walter Cronkite and all those people. Joe Rogan will be one of those types of figures in the future, I think. You know. Horrible movie. Do I like horrible movies? Oh gosh, yes. Poltergeist. I have a lot of females in the chat today. You guys like girl movies. Anybody like Rambo? No, I'm just playing. You guys probably don't. No, I mean, all right, so movies aren't what they were, but this is interesting. I'm just sorry, I'm just reading the chat here. AI girlfriends, what? Yes. Absolutely, Kendra. Apparently it's a thing. Apparently it's a thing. I don't get it, but somebody's probably getting rich off of it. And yeah, the kids are weird now. You gotta really realize that the kids are very strange now. I say kids, I mean, you know, anybody under like 20 years old or whatever. They're different, and they've been on the computers and the phones their whole life. Instagram, Snapchat, all those different things, right? And it's weird. I don't think most kids or people, and I'm assuming maybe some adults are into this, and I know it's a thing because it's out there. I looked it up. He said something about it actually on one of my YouTube videos or something, like in the comments. I was like, what is this? And I went to go check it out, and it's real. It exists. I mean, I like go check it out, like the products. I guess it's a thing. AI girlfriends. I don't know if it'll be a thing forever. It might be a fad, but yeah, the kids are they're going through some problems these days. So, John Wick. There you go, Daily owns supercar. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'm assuming, sir. I don't know, but John Wick. You know, yeah, it's a good one. I mean, so I'm not like a super fanboy, a John Wick fanboy, but I thought it was a good movie. I'm the same way about my dog, by the way. Like, I feel the same way about my dog as John Wick, so I can totally relate to that. Like, they made it relatable right off the bat, and the action is insane. And the cool thing about John Wick is Keanu Reeves trains. Like, he's trained with a lot of different military people to get the movie skills he has to do those action movies, and that's really cool. I think that now that's something that has gotten better over time. I'll say that this is a positive. Some of the action movies, like the ones with Keanu Reeves, while they're unrealistic, they are unrealistic. It's unrealistic in a realistic way. Like, he trained all those moves, all the pistol skills and stuff, and the jiu-jitsu and the other martial arts that he brings into his movies. Like, apparently that dude spent like thousands of hours like honing those crafts, and I respect that. That's super cool. It would be cool. I don't want to be like famous like that. But if I was in the movies, if I was a movie star, I would definitely be taking advantage of that, like, availability of training. You know what I mean? I'd be trained up, man. Some of these movie stars they could be like secret agents and stuff. Man. So they, all this training. All right, so scared of horror movies at night. My tolerance is pretty low. Wizard of Oz scared. Really? Wizard of Oz scared you? What was it that scared you about Wizard of Oz? Still haven't been brave enough to watch it again as an adult. I do the Rocky movies and Alien movies and Lethal Weapon movie. Okay, Kendra, well, we like some of the same. I like those. Those are good. Rocky was great. The Rocky movies, like especially the first 4, were awesome. I don't even know if I've watched the last 2. But Rocky 4 is such a classic that it's just out of here. And of course the first one, it's an underdog thing, like, you know, he's a nobody. And it's kind of interesting because Stallone's career parallels that movie in a way, because well, not the series of movies, but you know, his career really took off with Rocky. But the Rocky movies are great. Alien, they were good. That was Sigourney Weaver. Who else was in Alien? Alien was crazy. Alien was kind of a horror movie too. They're like stuck into that wall and stuff. Like, that's crazy. Lethal Weapon. Yeah, Mel Gibson in his prime, probably. Lethal Weapon. Yeah, pretty cool. He was an action guy, dude. Like, Mel Gibson was kind of an action guy. He started on what, Mad Max was what made him kind of famous. It was an Australian movie, but dude, like, Mad Max was awesome. It was crazy dystopian stuff. Like, you know, we see, like, you know, you have Walking Dead now that had come out, and then, you know, there's games like Fallout and stuff, but Mad Max is like right up that alley, you know, like, so Mad Max is one. The series Beyond Thunderdome was pretty cool too. Let's see, action movies, John Wick movies, basically all Jason Statham movies. Hey, I like those, Kendra. Those are great movies. Fighting makes more sense. It's way better now. Yeah, martial arts has gotten a lot more polished and more mainstream now. So back in the day, like a martial arts guy was some like guru guy on the corner. Like he had like some little, you know, whatever, like spot in the shopping center, and like, you know what I mean? And maybe it was real, maybe it wasn't. But like martial arts has gotten mainstream to the point where people can point out the moves, and kind of like, I guess the critics are a little bit better of it, right? I mean, like Steven Seagal, so you can't mention martial arts without Steven Seagal. I know Steven Seagal is like a big joke, but as far as the thing that he does, Aikido, he's like really good at Aikido, a practitioner. So when he came out with those, and his movies sucked after the first 3, but like when the first 3 movies came out, that was brand new to people. They didn't see that. They hadn't seen that. So that would be like the equivalent of like Keanu Reeves doing the jiu-jitsu stuff in the in his movies. So people, you know, people back then were hungry for stuff like that. We didn't have the internet. Nobody had the internet. I wasn't alive when those movies came out, but nobody had the internet back then, so people were hungry for it. That's why it went so far, I think. And now Jason Statham's pretty cool. Fighting makes more, yeah. Fake sounds, yeah. What didn't scare me? Tornadoes sucking my house up. Evil neighbor trying to steal dog. The Green Witch. Oh, okay, yeah. All the houses falling on you, making trees. Throw food at you. Hey, that's pretty cool though. Flying monkeys. Scary soldiers. Yeah, I could see that. You know, and you get the Wicked Witch, and you know, a little cauldron and everything. She was like looking at me like the car was just like doing a U-turn and looking at me like, what's he doing? I could see it now. Wizard of Oz being kind of scary. I guess I was the kind of kid. So all right, since being a child, I have had encounters with, I guess what you would call, I guess you could call it like, I don't want to say supernatural, maybe supernatural stuff. At least I was thinking along those lines when it was happening. But when I was a kid, stuff like that, that's in the Wizard of Oz, I'm a country boy. Like I grew up in the country, right? So I was always thinking like, I'd just shoot that or something. Like, you know what I mean? If that thing jumped out at me, I'd just shoot him. Like, right? I just had that mentality, probably because I watched all these dang action movies. But that's just how I felt and was, you know what I mean? Like I always had a knife, and you know, I was just that kid, right? And so creepy stuff like that, I guess I was like, that's just a movie, you know? Especially with Wizard of Oz. Now, some of the horror movies are crazy. Some of the horror movies are definitely wild. Especially now. Some of the stuff's just sick. Like, it's just like, whoa, dude, that's wild. Like, I don't even know why I'm watching this. Yeah, but the action movies were at their peak. It would have been cool back then with the mentality that they had to have the exposure to the martial arts and stuff now. But I think what makes it special was that it was new then. You know what I mean? It was new to so many people. Just like with Steven Seagal, and I'm not really a Steven Seagal fan, but like I said, you have to realize that like he was doing those little like the joint locks and then like flipping people over and stuff. I mean, that's like basically, Aikido's like not really a tough art, right? It really isn't. But it's got these like, it's when they practice it in Aikido schools or whatever, you know how to flip so that you don't get your hand broken and stuff. And he just demonstrated that basically on screen, and it looks cool. It looks really cool for the movies, and that was brand new. Same thing with like, even I don't know what, we talk about Lethal Weapon, I don't know what Mel Gibson knew, but he knew some stuff, and you know, he did it, like, you know what I mean, he would like kick people or whatever. And then there was like Chuck Norris. He's like the greatest, right? Kickboxer. Chuck Norris jokes are pretty cool. So, yeah, some scary now are just disturbing. Yeah, some of the scary movies now are just disturbing. Kristen, you're right. I mean, look, I gotta give it to Joe Rogan. Like, he talks about things that nobody else, that's what I like about it. He will bring up subjects. Even he sometimes, like, somebody's like, have you ever heard of this? And he's like, no. And I know he probably has. You know he has. But I think he's doing that because that's the interviewer in him, and he says no so that he can extract from that guest what it is that they're going to say about that thing. He's really good at that, and they've covered a lot of topics on that show that have brought things into the mainstream, and I think it's good. I think that it is a good thing, whether you like them or not. I think it's a good thing to have shows like that, and the long format, right? Like if I get on a video and make a 5-minute video, you guys are learning about me, and I'm learning about you guys in the chat because we're spending time together. But if I do like a 5-minute video, you don't really know. You're like, who's this guy? Yeah, maybe he's just, you know, putting that on. And Joe Rogan does that with people. He brings that out, and you can really tell. You've seen guests that go on his show that are used to the old school way of doing things, where they have this like scripted interview kind of thing on the TV, and they don't do well on his show. And you can see it, you can visibly see it, and I like that. And I think a lot more people are doing that. There's like Patrick Bet-David, and there's a lot of people doing that. The people on all sides of the political spectrum should do that. But I think Joe Rogan is that guy that's in the middle anyway. Like, he says he's a libertarian. He said he endorsed Trump, but it took him forever to do that, right? And then he was like, I guess a Democrat, or kind of left-leaning before that. He said he was left-leaning. So that basically he's in the middle, you know? I'm an independent, technically, guys. Technically, I'm an independent. And so, I understand that, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at things on their merits. And I think everybody should do that. Chuck Norris jokes are really funny, but he's for real a badass. Yeah, he is a badass. He actually, dude, he trained with Bruce Lee and all these other people, and Chuck Norris was actually, he's got a history in kickboxing. Like, he's legit. You don't want to fight him. Even now, probably, right? He's old, but you still probably don't want to mess with Chuck Norris. Let's see, need to go help my mom. Hope you guys have a nice day. You too, Melissa. Great hanging out with you. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out in the live stream. Guys, drop those like for this. Thank you. Yeah, hit the like button, guys, on your way out or whatever. Melissa, I know you probably hit the like button, but I do appreciate that. Hit the likes. So yeah, so we did movies. Movies are important. I mean, why? Because I think they've shaped our culture, right? And so that's why I think the movies being crappy now is like, and then it's indicative of the culture now. They were shaped by our culture, and then they shaped our culture. It's very interesting. It's like, what came first here? And it's, I think it's a little bit of both. But yeah, the movies suck. But yeah, I like Joe Rogan, man. Why'd you retract your comment there, De Leon? But yeah, I like Joe Rogan, man. I mean, I don't like think he's the greatest or anything, but he's definitely the greatest podcaster. He's like the first. He's a pioneer in that, and I think podcasts are good. You know, like I said, you don't want to be in that information bubble. That's why I made that video in the information bubble. Maybe 200 people saw it. I don't know, but I was serious about that. I think it's a very important thing to realize. You know, you look at people right now, and they're hurting because they were in that information bubble. Never thought of it like that. Good point. What are you talking about, Kendra? Never thought of it like that. Yeah, there's just certain things in culture that happen, and you realize, like, this is historical, or this is something that's shaping the culture. And those podcasts are definitely that thing. Like, and they've been a thing for a long time. They've been that thing. But, you know, there's been a lot of talk about people saying, like, mainstream media is dead or whatever. I mean, dude, honestly, I think the government will keep mainstream media in business if nobody else does, because they use it for their propaganda a lot. And when I mean government, like the people that are embedded deeply, like been there for years and years and years. You know, this is interesting. So somebody was talking about the other day, this is kind of a different subject. We'll get back on movies if y'all want. But the ads. So what was it? I think this was on Rogan. Maybe they were talking about it. It might have been. Anyway, they were talking about the ads for Big Pharma on all the news channels and stuff like that, right? And it's like, you can't, there was a time when you couldn't advertise for your drugs, and I don't think you can in a lot of countries. and they were saying like, well, who actually buys those drugs based on the advertisement? You're supposed to go with the doctor's recommendation, right? And so what the deal was, it was like, no, they buy the advertisement because that's big money. Like, they pay for the advertisement, right? And when they pay the money for the advertisement, the TV stations make money that way. Well, then they can kind of say, hey, look, if you talk about this, we'll pull our ads. If you talk about that, we'll pull our ads. So it's not about advertising to potential customers. It's kind of about like having control of the narrative. So that's how Big Pharma has control of the narrative on those. And I thought that was brilliant. I think it was Vance that said that, actually. Look at Jurassic Park versus movie. Look at Jurassic Park versus their movies now. They used real robotic dinosaurs in the 90s, and now it's screen edited in images of dinosaurs, and it looks so much more fake. Yeah, it actually kind of does look more fake, doesn't it? I always like seeing real stuff. CGI is not my favorite thing, really. It's overused. I mean, I think you can use it to like enhance things, but I don't think you should use it to for everything. You know, it's just not. It kind of kills the vibe, right? Like, I think in Star Wars they did that, right? Like in the original Star Wars, I think George Lucas built all these models and they were animatronics and stuff, and then he overlaid it with what he could at the time, like what he had, and then they remastered them in like the 90s or something too, to make them look even better. But because it was something about that, there was something in that room there that was being filmed, and it kind of made, I think the actors reacted better. It just made the whole vibe better, man. The British guy on HBO. What British guy on HBO? De Leon? What guy are you talking about? He's pretty funny. I'll check it out. But you gotta let me know who it is. I don't know who we're talking about. HBO. I mean, so guys, I'm kind of like plugged in to a lot of things, and then I'm somehow like not plugged into so many other things. Like, for example, I can't name you a single Taylor Swift song. I can't. And apparently she's one of the most famous people in the world. But I don't, you know what I mean? Like, there's certain, whatever. Yeah, so that's the crazy thing though, is like, pop culture as it is, like, I don't know, like, I don't really know a lot of the stuff now. I've kind of checked out of it, to be honest with you. If it's good, let me, like, I'll check it out, but a lot of it's just got like political agendas and different stuff that I don't really, you know, relate to, I guess, if you want to say that. But what guy on HBO are we talking about, De Leon? Now I want to know. It's like a mystery. Anyway, I appreciate you guys for being here on the live stream here. Let me know if I should do more of these. Do you guys want to see me do more lives? Would you like to hang out and talk about these type of things and other type of things? Because maybe I'll do this more often. Maybe I could find some space sometime. I'd love to set up a studio. That'd be great. But I'm always just out here on the road, so it's like, I'll just do this, you know. For now, I'm in the car. I got the studio set up in the car, right? It's my office. Let's see. Adam going back to 3 Days Grace. Breaking Benjamin, having a new album. That stuff interests me. No Beyonce or Swift though. Me either. I'm not really into those people, and I'm not hating on anybody, but I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I don't even know a Taylor Swift song. I've probably heard one, and if you said one, I might recognize, like, if the lyric was one of the main lyrics. Like, you know how songs, they're like the main lyric is the thing. But I've never made a point to watch Taylor Swift anything. I don't watch stuff that she's in. I don't know if she was in like a Super Bowl or whatever, but I don't really watch the Super Bowl, so you know what I mean, like that kind of thing. I'm not really that into sports. I'm into sports, like I used to play baseball and basketball and stuff growing up. I'm into the sport of things, but I don't watch a lot of sports anymore. To me, it just seems I don't have time. maybe that's inflation, you know, I'm working all the time to pay bills and stuff like that, but I don't know. Also, I think I would just be wanting to do other stuff, right? Like, you know, myself. Like bows and arrows are awesome. Shooting bows and arrows, that's, for example, like if I have time, that's the kind of stuff I do. I'd be in the backyard shooting bows and arrows. It's getting dark right now. I'd be maybe making a fire or something soon if I had time. If I was just sitting around, I don't think I would be watching a sports game. So, all right. Let's see what we got. There's people through the bushes over there talking. I don't know what they're talking about. But yeah. So this has been a pretty successful, I think it's been a pretty successful test. I appreciate you guys being here with me, and hitting the like button and all those things, and all the comments, and all that stuff's awesome. Great interacting with you. Getting his name, DeLeon. Okay, I'll wait for you. I'm not in a huge hurry. I'm my own boss, so I get to do. I mean, yeah. There's my wife, but I'm like the as far as working and stuff, I'm the man of the house, and I work, right? I get to choose how I work. That's why I buy and sell things, and then if I need more money, I do DoorDash. And I do DoorDash consistently anyway, because I got to come out to the city to buy stuff. And so while I'm here, I just try to make $100, $200 or whatever while I'm here every few days. Yeah, I'm glad I was able to catch you live. Yeah, thank you. Well, it's like the first time, really, kind of. You know what I mean? Well, it's not the first time. I did a live stream, but it was, I don't want to say it was a disaster, but my operating of it was a disaster. Like, I thought we could go underground and that the live stream wouldn't cut out, and so I was like under there, like running out so that I could get back on live. I was trying to show like an underground parking deck, and it didn't work, because when I went into there, the feed cut, because the internet doesn't work because I'm underground. It's like, duh. Anyway, so I'm learning. I'll probably do more of these now that I know how to do it. Last week, tonight is the show. Last week tonight? Is it called Last Week? Here, I'll look it up. Is it called Last Week Tonight? Let me see here. I'm searching that up. So maybe, hopefully that's it. Maybe it's not. Tonight. Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. Okay. John Oliver. Okay. Yeah, I'll look at that. I'll look at it. I'll check it out. Like I said, I don't do a lot of stuff from the mainstream networks, but I'll check that out. DeLeon Supercars. So have you got any big events coming up, DeLeon? You have any car like events coming up? It's probably getting cold up there, right? Like, are you up that way, up in New York? I know that was the last video was there. Yeah, definitely, this is great. Thanks. That's awesome, man. I appreciate that. But it's probably getting cold up there, right? I don't know if you guys will be doing car events. The car events down here slow down, but I have a drift event to cover, I think this Sunday. I think it's Sunday out in Piedmont, which is out in the middle of nowhere. So I'll be doing that, hopefully, you know. Yes, sir. Good chatting with you too, DeLeon. I'm about to get off. Whoa, somebody's. Oh yeah, the traffic's going crazy because of the time. It's 5:21, so people starting to honk them horns, man. I guess we can go out here and work a little bit, drive and make some money. So I'm driving daily. That's what we are here. How's your wife? Did you say she's pregnant? Yes, she is, and she's doing good. She's doing great. She's a little under the weather. Like, she's not feeling as good today. I think she caught a little bug. They had my daughter had a cheerleading thing, and it was like at a big school, and it was like all of them together, and so it was like hundreds of people, and I think she picked something up over there, man. She's fighting it off, but she's doing good. She's doing well. We're due in January, so God willing, everything will be good with that, and we're we're hoping for, you know, everything goes smoothly. She's good at having babies. We've had a few before, so hopefully hopefully it'll work out good, you know. But yeah. All right, well, Kendra, driving daily, or I mean daily on rather. I'm just talking to myself there. Thank you all for stopping by. Thank you to all of you for stopping by and sticking on the stream with me for a while, hanging out. It's been super fun. Actually can't wait to do this again now that I've figured out how to do it on the GoPro. I'll probably be, y'all see me every now and then, like maybe every couple days or so. Should I go live? How often should I go live, guys? Should I go live every couple days or something? I don't know, I'm new to this. That'll be here in no time. I'll keep you guys in my prayers. Thank you, Kendra, I appreciate that. Prayers are good, they're real, prayers are real. I believe, and I believe that they do help. I believe they do help, so. All right, well, with that said, guys, I'm obviously a talker. It's live weekly, you say? Daily, you go live daily? I gotta catch more of your lives in my gal. But see, then we're gonna be all crossing like up with each other. Should I just go live daily anyway? I'll try to check when you go. You go in the evening, don't you? So. Like when I'm at home, I have my laptop open. I can run, at least run all the live streams. My video's dark now though. I know the dark got me. Need the light. There's some light. I got pointing his lights at me. But yeah, I think you go live at night, right? So Import Expo. Atlantic City is a big drive, but worth it. Okay, so you're going to Atlantic City next, right, De Leon? I'll be looking forward to that. 2 a.m. Oh, well, see, I'm asleep usually. I was up on election night, but I don't usually stay up that late. I'm on Carl's stream sometimes now, like hanging out in there. That's pretty late. And then, but yeah, I don't know, like. I do Tuesdays at 7, that's it, unless I do a random week. Okay. Well, see, I don't know, are we always gonna have something to talk about? I obviously haven't run out of things to talk about today. I'm kind of a talker, so one thing, Kendra, my wife, I'm a talker, so that when I was starting a YouTube channel, she was like, yeah, maybe that's a good thing, so you can go talk, like on the YouTube channel, you know what I mean? So I could probably keep us going, and, you know, anyway, now that I've figured out the technical details. Tuesdays at 7. All right, I'll keep that in mind. Keep you on the calendar there, Kendra, because I want to catch you when you're live. I'm usually working at 7, so from like 5 to 10, I'm probably working, but I don't mind running your live if I can get another device going, right? I don't mind being there, and I'll check in from time to time, help you out. She like. Go talk to other. Yeah. She's like, go talk to somebody else. It's like nice when you don't have to hear me all day, like every day, I guess. You know what I mean? And I'm also quiet, so sometimes I'm quiet. Like around certain people, I'm quiet because I like to gauge the room. Right? I like to let people play their hand. But then once I know you and stuff, whatever, you know, we talk about anything because I like communication. I think lack of communication is probably one of the biggest. Probably causes of death, like death and destruction out there, right? Lack of communication. How many wars could have been stopped if people could have just talked it out a little bit? And I know you can't talk out everything, and that's why you like, you know, you have backup plan. You should always have backup plan, you know, for dealing with violence and stuff. But I do believe that communication is key, and you can solve a lot of problems by just being able to talk. Oh, thanks, De Leon, thank you. Yeah, I talk a lot too, so keeping the live stream going is pretty easy, but then the chat keeps it flowing pretty well. Yeah, the chat, you guys have kept me flowing. It's dark, you can't even really see my face, but I just noticed that because I just looked at the thing. But you guys have kept me going for a while here, actually. It's probably been a good hour or two. I appreciate that. And but I can riff pretty good. So when I was a young kid, I was the quiet kid because I was watching, and I was like taking it all in, and I was watching people, right? And I was just, you know, I watched the adults. I watched how people move. And people were like, you're very old for your age. You're an old soul and all this stuff, right? They said that. And then, yeah, and then as I got older, I came out a little bit more, like, I had absorbed all this, like, how adults behave. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to do me now. Like, I'm going to behave like me. But I still listen. I like to listen to people, you know. Oh my goodness, yes, I am annoyingly big on communication. As a wife, mom, business owner, friend, everything. Yeah, well, communication's good. I think people with communication skills do better with that stuff. And I think it's one of the more important skills you can have. You know, and I know some people aren't communicators or they're introverts. And I would even say, like, in a way, I can be an introvert, but also I'm an extrovert. It's like weird. I'm both. I'm both. You know, like, but it's good to be able to talk with people. Like, I talk with strangers all the time, actually, believe it or not, because it's better. So when I'm door dashing, it's funny. A lot of times, I gotta go in a minute, I guess, but I'll say this. So a lot of times, when I'm door dashing, I'm in like a spot or whatever, picking up, like the restaurant or whatever, pick up food. And there's like another DoorDasher in there. There's always another DoorDasher in there, and everybody, and they know you're a DoorDasher and you know they're a DoorDasher, but sometimes they're just like silent and it's kind of awkward. And I do break that awkward silence sometimes. And 90% of the time, it ends up working out pretty good. Actually, I'd say 95% of the time. Very rarely does it end up, like, usually people aren't like, oh, I'll kill you. You know what I mean? Most of the time people open up, and they probably, people don't know. That's why to go back with the information bubbles, people don't know that sometimes you know, you don't hate them. And sometimes people just, I guess they might think you hate them or something or whatever. And then it's like you open up and you're talking and they're like, oh, like, dang, they're just a normal person. They don't hate me. Like, they're just interested in whatever. And that, you know, that's a good thing for people to hear, right? And if you were just quiet, you would just think that, you know, they would have just thought that you were just being a dick, right? I'm gonna go this. I was constantly told I was an old soul too. You too? Yeah. Good grief. You're like the dude version of me. Maybe, Kendra, maybe. Going to order DoorDash would it be you delivering? You never know. If you're in North Carolina, you have to be here. I don't deliver that far. I don't know exactly where you're at. I'm thinking you're either in in New York or Florida, but kidding. I got a chicken gyro from the diner next door. Oh, you have a diner next door? Dude, now that's one of the things about living in town or in the city that's cool, is you can just walk out and go to, like, or you're at work maybe. Either way, it's cool to be able to just walk out and go get some food. Oh yeah, saying hi, giving random compliment to strangers. I walk to the store, etc. Always works out well. Yeah, it does. People upstate New York. Okay. Is that kind of like country though? Upstate New York? Like kind of country? It's not like, or is that upstate? Let me think. I'm showing my ignorance on New York right now. I've never been to New York. Yes, I just bought a house in town on Main Street. Okay, cool. Hey, that's cool. Main Streets are cool. You know everybody, and you know all the people in the business, and you go to your bagel shop, right? Your coffee shop, probably. That's cool. Nice little community thing. Yeah, saying hi to random people. I mean, look, man. My wife sometimes will get embarrassed. Well, she starts to get embarrassed or whatever, but then she realizes it's almost every time she's like, oh no, he's doing it again. But then, I mean, sometimes it's like 5 minutes later, I'm still talking to the person, you know, and she's like, we gotta go, you know. But you make friends, you know, you make friends out there. I'd rather make friends than enemies. And I mean, look, you're gonna make enemies anyway, like regardless, just living, right? People are gonna be enemies, so you might as well make some friends too. Upstate. Yes, the country, the city. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought, because like people think New York and they think New York City, but like I knew some guys from I think it was like they were outside of Buffalo, I think it was. I don't know, they came from down here and they said there was both. Like there's the city, but then there's the country. You know, just like there is here, so. Hold on, I can't read that. Only 4 hours away. That sounds so nice. I can't wait to move to a more rural area. Yeah, you will love it, Kendra. You will love the rural area. You might miss being around all the people, but you're still around people. Like where I live is rural, and there's people. It's a small town. Kind of everybody knows everybody a little bit, but there's also some people that moved in, you know, in the last few years that, you know, they're new. And then, but then we're close to Raleigh and Durham and the city. So we get both. I get whatever I want. If I want to go to the city, I can go to the city, and that's cool. I kind of like that, although I'm thinking about moving a little more rural because the city is expanding, and I'm thinking about moving a little further out, actually, to be honest. If I buy land, because we rent right now, unfortunately, kind of, but fortunate to have it. We're thankful for what we have, but you know, I'm always looking, and if I buy land, I think I want to go a little bit more out to the country, a little bit further, because it always is going to expand. Buffalo's 4 hours away too. Yeah, he wasn't like it. They weren't in Buffalo, but they were from that area, you know. It's kind of funny. They had a pizza shop that I worked at, and they had everything. They had like taken the recipe from like a restaurant up there, so the buffalo wing, but it was all like real New York kind of stuff, right? It's kind of cool. It was good pizza. I don't want neighbors that close. I would much rather live in the country. I miss the country. I miss the back roads. Yeah, back roads are my favorite. And like I said, with the population getting bigger or whatever, it's like, it's not even, you're not on your own out there anymore. But I like going out for long distance like drives out in the middle of nowhere. Some people don't like that, but I do. That's why I carry tools in my car, because you never know when you're gonna get stranded out in the middle of nowhere. So try to carry as many contingencies. You should all do that. I know most of you in the chat are ladies, but you should have tools in your car, and you should know how to do the basic stuff, you know. Have a tire patch kit, you know what I mean? Have the jack and all the stuff, and maybe some spare fuses and stuff like that. We met an older couple in a thrift store. We now go to their birthday parties and attend their 50th. Oh, that's cool. My son was his best man. Wow. See, Kristen? Yeah, there you go. You never know. You never know who you're gonna meet, man. And you know what? People come into your life for a season sometimes, and then they go out. Like, I live in a similar area to where I went to high school, not too far, but I don't hang out with those guys. You know, there's a lot of people I went to high school with I don't even talk to. And let me see if I turn the light on. Nah, that's not even gonna work. Well, I'm just in the dark, guys. But yeah, I don't even talk to a lot of them. I mean, I know some of them, and I guess some of them I do talk to, but I don't like hang out every day. And but people come and go for different reasons in your life. And sometimes you have people there for a season, and then sometimes people are there for a lifetime. Lifelong friends are cool, though. I mean, I have a few lifelong friends, I guess you could say, but some of them don't live around, you know. All that from just saying thank you for your service. Yeah, that's true. So okay, so here's an interesting one, guys. The screen's all black. Yeah, I know. I'm messing this all up, guys. Hold on a second. Maybe I can get some light. Hold on. Oh man, can't see that. Can't see that. Oh, what about the does this have a light on the mirror in this car? No, it's a stupid car. All right, that's because of the driver's side. It's gonna be a black screen, guys, for the next couple minutes. Yeah, just from, so okay, so I was in a thrift store the other day, because I'm always in the thrift stores, and they know me there. And the lady that was there, she was she's always nice, and I'm always kind of, you know, I'm polite to her, because guys, if you buy things and sell things all the time, you should be polite to employees in the thrift store and bin stores and other places, because that's how you're gonna get the information like that you want, like, oh, we got this in, or this is in, or whatever. Anyway, but I'm always nice to her, and she's a sweet old lady, right? And I buy watches there, and I put a battery in them or whatever, or do whatever, try to fix them, and I sell some of them, my wife gets some of them, whatever, right? But I like watches, and I like fixing them up. So I buy a watch, and she's like, oh, well, at least we both use the watch, you know, like we're the last two people to use watches, she said, or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, I like regular watch, not a smart watch, you know, and I like it because I'm on my smartphone all the time for work and all this different stuff, and I'm trying to get away from the smartphone, so I use my regular watch. I mean, I don't need a watch that has the phone on it too. And she's like, I don't have that problem. I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, I don't have a smartphone. She's like, but people are so, they have such a problem nowadays. Like, they're so angry and they're so into their phones, and you can tell they're so mean, she said. And I feel bad because I kind of thought about, like, probably people have been mean to her, like, you know. And but people are addicted to the phones. I know we're all on our phones or devices right now, but yeah, it's something to think about. But that lady did not use a smartphone, and I thought that was super cool. And she has the best vibes, right? Like her I don't know about auras, but like, if you want to say that, like her just essence or whatever, like just her nature, just how she is just so cool and kind. And she doesn't have a smartphone, so I thought that was interesting. And when you said that about the thrift store, it made me think about that. That's scary. If I get stuck somewhere, I would be screwed. I don't know how to do anything like that. Well, you should get somebody to help you learn that stuff, NY Gal, because it's a good skill to have, and I don't think it's just, I mean, it's a skill I think all men should have, obviously, and a lot of men nowadays probably don't. Sad, but I think all women should do it too, so that you should know how to do it, because you never know. And you know what, if you're somewhere and you're not with one of your family member, loved one men or people that know car stuff, you don't want to have to probably rely on, you never know, right? Like, if it's just a tire and it's a flat tire or something and you can plug it, you could like take the tire off and plug it and just learn how to do that basic stuff. That's the kind of preparations that can really be a good thing. And I am all for that. My husband taught me how to change a tire, change the oil, and do some other basic things, like spark plugs, but I don't know if I remember enough to do. You could probably get the tire, Kendra. Just remember the safety thing with the jack, like make sure that the car is safely elevated and stuff, so you don't get hurt. That's the main thing. And then after that, it's just taking off the bolts, you know, and make sure they're tight when you put them back, and you know, all that. And you can also look at YouTube. YouTube is a great resource, and if you're on the side of the road and you have service, you can always look up YouTube and help get your stuff back. Reminder to know what we're doing in case of emergency. Good reminder. Oh, well, yeah. That is cool. She cut off from a lot of toxicity not having a smartphone. She did. You know, and I wish I could do that. But I work my phone for eBay, and I work my phone for DoorDash, and I'm using my phone right now. There's a light. Oh, it's a thing. I work my phone for DoorDash, and I work my phone for YouTube right now. I'm using it right now with my GoPro, so I have to have them. So yeah. But anyway. All right, you guys, thank you all for being here. This has been awesome. It's been super fun. I really need to do this more often. I think I will. And now that I know that I'm not going to be cutting you guys off on the live stream, maybe I'll go in that dead period, like 2-3 o'clock. I don't know. I'm not going to commit to anything right yet because I'm not super sure. But sometimes I just feel like getting on too, you know, like today I was like, man, I think I should just do a live. So I did. So here I am. And I'm glad I did. And so I'll probably do this again sometime. Just keep on the lookout, and we'll catch you on the next one. But I'm gonna call it a night. So yeah, hope y'all have a good one. It's been fun, and maybe I'll see some of you guys somewhere out there on the internet later on. But I'm gonna go work some. I should have started working a little while ago, but hey, it is what it is. That's working for myself. All right, I'm really gonna cut it off now, guys. All right, take care. Much love. Peace out. Let you guys look at the street for a little bit. You too, NY Gal. You have a great one. Good night, Kendra. Y'all take care. I'm now figuring out how to end the live.